Welcome to the channel. So today's project is going to be working on the Kriss Vector Gen 1. So this is a 45 ACP SBR, factory registered SBR, and I'm going to be finally getting around to doing some upgrades to it. Really easy upgrades that you can do yourself. So the Gen 1s have the folding stock, and I'm going to replace it with the more updated folding stock that has the hinge. Okay. And the reason because of that is that when I received this at my FFL, when I went to pick it up, it actually was damaged. The button latch was damaged, so we're going to fix that. That way this thing can lock in the folding, folded out position, and not be, constantly flopping around, because right now the way I have it, the button latch is broken, and the button latch part from Kriss USA is not available right now. It's on back order, so I went ahead and just purchased a full stock. Okay, this is compatible with the Gen 1 and the early Gen 2s to have the folding mechanism, not the AR style buffer tube. And it's a direct fit if you have the hinged system on your Kriss Vector, which, if you ask me, is the original kind of design language of the firearm, the Gen 1s. I really wanted the Gen 1, okay? Even though there's some improvements that have been made in the Gen 2s and the Gen 3s, which I also appreciate, I just think that Gen 1 is the original design language of the Kriss Vector 45, and I wanted to get a factory SBR in 45 just because it was the original model that came out from Kriss Vector. Now, this is not the most practical or ideal tool for your arsenal, but it's cool and it's kind of its own kind of specialty niche way. It's fun to have, cool guns, not necessarily more practical guns sometimes. And like I said, I just want to do some quick upgrades. I have the stock and I have the pick rail that goes on the right side. Now, you can add this pick rail on the left side, but you will have some interference with the charging handle. But since this Gen 1 has a much more longer charging handle compared to the other Kriss Vectors out there, it might actually be just fine, and it'll be a direct fit, okay? So we're gonna try it on both sides and see what it kind of like feels like and show it on camera. But I will be installing these off camera because to be in compliance with YouTube standards, which are everly changing, always changing as the months go on. I'm going to do all of this off camera and then kind of like show it on the Kriss Vector tool, and then give you my thoughts and kind of the result and what it looks like on the tool itself. So I'm going to go ahead and unpackage these, and I'll do them kind of one by one and show you what the process is. And kind of give you the explanation in words and not really show you. Like I said, I can't show this stuff on YouTube because of, I just want to play it safe, okay? So, before we get into it, this has the original Kriss Vector sights, which are slightly different than like the more micro, more compact sights they have now. So I really like these original sights. Like I said, I like the original design. I appreciate that, and I don't want to have everything brand new, have the latest and greatest Gen 3. Maybe if I like this so much, I might get a Gen 3 in 9mm. We'll see. But the weapon is cleared. You don't have to worry. I already went ahead and checked the chamber. Nothing in the magazine. I just left the magazine in for aesthetic reasons. That way you kind of get, the idea of what this looks like with a full standard capacity magazine in it. But let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and unpackage this stuff and start installing each item. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually go ahead and install the stock. But what happens here is that I have this completely non-locking. It won't lock because of this right here. The hook on the button latch broke off, so I cannot, this won't latch. It just basically flops open. Okay, this is the main reason why, like I said, I went ahead and just bought the whole stock versus just the button latch, which right now is on back order and not available. It's been not available for months and months now. Okay, I've checked everywhere. So I'm going to keep this just in case this comes back, comes back in stock. I have my email notification set to let me know but I'm going to go ahead and replace this original. I kind of like the original because, like I said, it has the original design language. The newer one is not that much different, but it is a little bit different. It doesn't have this like this other second piece right here. You see how this is like almost looks like an insert, but it's not. It's not rubberized. It's just hard plastic, just like the stock itself, glass-filled nylon polymer. But it's adjustable, and we're gonna go ahead and swap it out with the newer version, and I'm gonna do that right now. But it does still lock in place. Okay, everything else works. You can still fire it, but it just, you know, it doesn't lock open. Okay, it just flops, and that's no good. So we're gonna fix that, and I'll do that right now, and then show you what it looks like. All right, so I went ahead and installed the stock and the rail on the left side just so you guys can see what it looks like. Now, I did go ahead and find the missing piece. So that little piece that was broken off the latch button, well, the latch itself was stuck inside the pocket in here, inside the stock, inside the upper, I guess you could call it. It was stuck all the way in here. I had to use a pick to pull it out. I'm glad I found it because that just means it was broken in transit when it was going to the dealer to be transferred. And I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad I didn't open this up fully and kind of like snap it into place, okay? Because if I would have done that, I would have broken this off, and I would have had to replace another stock, okay? So I'm glad I kind of like closed it slowly, and I could feel it not close all the way, and I could feel it hit something. And I looked in there, and I found it. It was just sitting in there. But anyways, this is what it looks like snapped into place. It still keeps the design language of the original Gen 1, you know, the main design language. It actually has a sling loop at the bottom here. That's not on the original. Okay. So we can just compare the two. You know, very similar, like I said. The top profile are very similar as well. It's got that tapered look. The tapered comb, where it kind of like has like a taper all the way to the back end, which is kind of nice. It has a, you know, a subtle change like that. But the new button is still plastic, composite, nylon, glass filled. Who knows how long it's gonna last. I really wish they would have made this out of like aluminum at least. And I've seen people break these just by mortaring the gun. So don't mortar the Kriss Vector because you will snap this off. So just be very careful with this. It's not a the most durable design, but it will last you if you just take care of it and not get too aggressive and understand that that's not a butt stock you can mortar and just slam off the bench top or the ground. But as you see, I have the original Kriss Vector pick rail foregrip. Like I said, this is a registered SBR, so I can have this vertical grip on this SBR, okay? So you have to have that in order to, in today's age, at least for right now, you need to have that tax stamp. So you're good to go with the SBR. But like I said, really, really nice look. All original Kriss Vector accessories on this. I want to keep it as original as possible. So this pick rail here does not really interfere with the charging handle, okay? People say that, yeah, this is like a trees grater, okay? So what you can do is put some rubber or silicone panels on here, pick rail panels, and that will get rid of that. I'm probably gonna put the Surefire pick rail panels. I like how those are like scalloped. They have a really nice look. I really like those. So I'm probably gonna, you know, also buy a second one and put it on the right side. But this right here, I don't feel like it interferes with my hand. I mean, it does, I kind of do rub this a little bit, but like I said, when you put the pick rail cover on it, it'll be less intrusive. But this being so long, okay, they redesigned this to be shorter on the newer third gen, I guess, or the second gen as well. But the charge handle being this long, I don't see it a problem. Like I said, for me, I have big hands. I actually like the bigger components and the bigger mechanisms on the guns. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this rail over to the right side just so you can see what it looks like, okay? But I will be getting a second one. I really like how that kind of like finishes off the look of the gun. like I said, I'm going to put a rail cover on there and take care of that. But this one has the fire control. You know, it's a semi-auto, so it has, at least it has the red dot there. I guess the second gen or the third gens don't have that. I wish it had a safe dot, like a white dot for the indicating safe, but it only has one single red dot on both sides. Okay, that's one thing about the Gen 1s. Like I said, the original design language. It's got the original Kriss Vector sights, as you can see here. I'll show them really quick. So you kind of got this leveling line here built into the sight, which is nice. They're adjustable, and they kind of have the Kriss Vector kind of design. I'm most likely going to put an EOTech of some sort on this because I like how that looks. It kind of has the blocky look, and it fits the actual design language of the gun better. So that most likely will be my choice. I will be looking for different red dot optics, but like I said, I can still enjoy this with the irons. The irons work just fine if you know how to aim. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to the right side and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so here we have the rail swapped over to the right side, and it fits the gun. Okay, it's really low profile. Even if you had both of them on there, I think you would be just fine. I don't see a problem with having the pick rails on there. Some people just like a little more slimmer, you know, feel and look. I like the original look of the firearm, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and buy another one off of Optics Planet and put it on the left side as well. It really doesn't add too much to the width of the Kriss, as you can see. The charging handle is going to stick out further than the actual pick rail panel. Okay. So this is the Kriss factory accessory. Like I said, it's meant to be on here. It's not some aftermarket. I like to, when I can, buy factory original accessories because they just kind of like match the gun the best compared to other stuff on the market, aftermarket or whatnot. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and probably do a red dot upgrade on this at some point, and I'll do a can as well. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out so far. Took a while to get this factory SBR, a lot of patience in searching on Gunbroker and you know, whatnot, searching for the perfect gun that's not beat up and in poor shape. So I finally found the Kriss Vector, and I'm very happy with this purchase and this choice that I made. This basically is the modern day Tommy gun right here. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details on why it's cool and what it does, but it has a really unique action where the recoil is directed downwards and it mitigates almost all the recoil from a 45. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.